Hello. So, me and my friend Lauren are collaborating together to learn, discover attacks, and double attacks. Basically, the very key tactical ideas that a lot of players don't get right from all levels. This one is for Lauren's first position of discover attack. So, I'll lead it over to Lauren and let's see what she says about it.
Thanks, Little Eagle. So in this position, if you notice that the queen, this knight, and this king, notice that they're on the same line. And if it is white to move, then white can do a discovery. The first thing you want to notice that if we move this knight, then the queen would be checking the king. You want to consider all possibilities where the knight can go. For example, I'll give you some time to think about what the best move is. Where should we move this knight? The best move to move the knight is to go to c6. Moving the knight to c6 is the best move because notice the knight is attacking the black's queen on d8. Notice the black pawns cannot capture the knight because white's queen is checking the king. So if black gets out of check by moving the bishop here, then the knight can simply just capture the queen. The queen can also go to e7 to get out of check. But if that happens, then the knight can just simply just capture black's queen.
Very good, Lauren. So now it's going to be my turn for just showing you the first example of double attack. So this one is my first position. So it's block to move. This is coming out of Alep Sicilian, e4, c5, 3, c3, something like that. And it's block to move. So the question is, can you take that pawn e4? It's not defended, right? So swipe that off the board. But there's a double attack for that white has. So do you see it? White to move and win. So if you see it, there's queen a4 check. There's a double attack right there. Attacking the knight on an e4 sideways queen moves. A lot of people forget that the queen moves sideways. So to defend this king, they have to. Then they lose the knight on an e4 and black is in trouble. So make sure that if you take a pawn like this, make sure there's no tricking checks like this to sweep over the knight like this. It happens all the time for beginners. They don't see that and lose the knight and lose the game.
Okay, this is my second position for discovery attack. And in this position, notice that this rook, this bishop, and this king are on the same line. That's really important to notice. And since they're on the same line, we can do a discovery attack. If we move this bishop, then the rook will be checking the king. But the question is, where should we move this bishop? I'll give you some time to think about it. Okay, the best move is for this bishop to take the pawn on b7. And the reason why we want to do this is because once this black king gets out of check, then this bishop can simply just take the rook. If the bishop just took this pawn, white wins a pawn, but it's not very effective because once this king moves, then we just win a pawn. And by the way, taking this pawn would be a bad idea because this rook can go over here and pin the bishop.
Now this position is blocked to move. So let's take a moment to see what we can do to force a double attack. So right now, there's no fork right now, but we had to prepare it right now. So what to do is block to force a double attack. So do you see any checks? Do you see any ideas? What do you want to do? So first of all, you want to see this knight g6 move and see where the king and the f4 goes. So they can't go there because what if they go knight e5? There's a double attack. Uh-oh. So let's say if they go to g3, the g file move, g4, g3, doesn't matter. This knight e5 again, double discover attack and double attack. Just basically combining our two ideas at the same time. But let's about king f5. Now this knight e7 check, double attack. Again, we're just winning a piece, and the game is over. So if they go king f6, they have rook g6 check to not lose the rook. And thus, taking the rook sideways, and the game will be over for white.
This position, it's pretty similar to the last positions that I talked about. One thing you need to notice is what pieces are on the same diagonal as Black's king. There's a lot of pieces, so sometimes you might not notice. But if you take time and think about it, notice that this bishop, this knight, are on the same diagonal as this king. Therefore, if we move the white knight, then the bishop would be checking the king. So we can do a discovered attack. I'll give you some time to think about what the best move is for white. So what's the best square for this knight to go to? The best move is for this white knight to take this pawn. And you might be asking, can't this black knight just take this white knight? And the reason is no, the black knight cannot capture the white knight because our bishop is checking the king. And once this black king gets out of check, then the white knight can just simply capture black's queen. And this is a winning position for white.
So this is my third and final example of about double attacks. So it's blocked to move and win. So think about how to do a double attack right now. It seems like there's only one piece hanging loose, like the rook on g7. So you're trying to think about a double attack. Basically think about two pieces that are hanging. The pawn and the rook? No, probably not. Taking the pawn on h4? Probably not the best. We're talking about double attacks. So what do you think is the best move for black to win the game was using double attacks? So if you think about it, double attacks doesn't necessarily mean doubling attacking two pieces. So the cool thing is double attacks include attacking a piece and a square. If the black queen goes to e5, they're attacking the piece, but also they're into checkmate and a1. So they can't do both, protecting the rook and defending a1 mate. So let's say if they go this one to say, okay, my rook is safe, but queen a1 comes in and we win the game as black.
That's a really nice position.
Yes, this is the last example for a discover attack by Lauren.
Okay, in this position, it is white to move, and you need to figure out what the best move is. Again, notice this bishop, this rook, they're on the same line. And because of that, if you move this rook anywhere, then the bishop would be checking the king. Now, you might say, oh, we can just simply just take this knight for free. It seems like a good move. And in fact, white would be winning a knight. But when you're playing chess, if you see a good move, then look for a better one. So do you see a better move that white can do instead of taking the knight? In order to find a better move, then you got to look at all the pieces on the board. I'm going to give you a hint. Notice that there's a black queen right over here on h6. The best move is to move the rook over to h4, and this rook is attacking the queen. And then notice, since this bishop is checking the king, this queen or this pawn cannot capture the rook. So once this king gets out of check, then white's rook can just simply capture black's queen.